I stepped through the glass doors of the open-plan floor at Apex Dynamics' Midwest Regional Office that Tuesday morning. And the air felt wrong, too still, too heavy. The usual chatter of keyboards, half-mumbled calls, and the distant hum of the coffee machine had vanished. It was the silence of people holding their breath, waiting for the explosion. My keys were still warm from my pocket when I spotted it, a sheet of printer paper taped dead center on my monitor. The letters "loser" scrawled in thick red Sharpie that had bled into the page like an accusation. Beneath it, a smug, smiley face with a tongue sticking out, drawn with the crude rage of a schoolyard bully. Behind me, the chuckle started low at first, then bolder. Alex from engineering slapped Jordan on the shoulder and muttered just loud enough, "Dude, she hasn't seen it yet." I stood there frozen, the weight of their eyes on my back. But I didn't flinch. Not outwardly. Emily Harper, Senior Compliance Specialist, 6 years grinding through audits and risk reports. The woman who noticed every discrepancy others missed. My hands stayed steady as I reached out, peeled the paper off carefully, folded it into a neat square, and slipped it into my bag like it was nothing more than a receipt. I sat down, logged in, and let the screensaver fade away. My dog photo, her in that ridiculous orange life vest, paddling with fierce purpose, stared back at me. That image had always grounded me, a reminder that even small things could push forward against the current. The laughter didn't die down right away. Someone fake coughed "loser" into their fist. Jordan whispered something about checking Slack, where Tyler had probably already posted a photo of my monitor for the team's amusement. I tuned it out. Years of this had taught me silence was armor. But inside, something cracked open. This wasn't the first time. There had been the desktop background swap last quarter, a stock photo of a woman buried in paperwork with my face crudely photoshopped on top. Captioned "Compliance Queen Drowning." My coffee mug vanishing for weeks only to return etched with "Buzzkill" by soldering iron. The time my ergonomic chair request was denied while Derek Lang, my manager, got his upgraded without question. The $25 gift card for catching major vendor issues while the team got bonuses for team spirit. They called it fun. I called it targeted. Because I didn't join happy hours. Didn't laugh at the DI jokes that reduced real inclusion to a scavenger hunt. Didn't overlook the small ethical slips that piled up. As a compliance specialist, noticing was my job. But noticing the patterns in my own office, the way Derek approved expense reports for client dinners at places without private rooms, the inflated leadership diversity stats that didn't match the org chart, the onboarding emails where background checks were fast-tracked despite red flags like undisclosed DUIs, had turned me into the target. That morning, as the chuckles faded into awkward keyboard clacks, I opened my personal laptop under the desk. No one noticed. They were too busy watching for tears that wouldn't come. My encrypted USB, taped beneath the keyboard tray for months, felt warm in my palm. It wasn't paranoia. It was preparation. Time-stamped logs of expense fraud, retaliation notes, forged metrics, suppressed harassment claims, vendor favoritism. Over 180 files, backed up 3 ways. Each screaming truths no one wanted to hear. I drafted an email to the parent company's risk escalations address. Clean. Bulletproof. Subject: internal risk concern. Tier 2 escalation. Attached Dropbox link. A 2-sentence summary listing falsified reporting, onboarding irregularities, DI manipulation, expense fraud, and more. No emotions. Just facts. Timestamps. References. I saved it as draft. Not yet. But the fuse was lit. The need had outgrown me. This wasn't about one sign anymore. It was about the rot beneath the ping-pong tables and free beer Fridays. The culture that mistook my quiet competence for weakness. By 11:30, 1 a.m. I read it one last time. No adjectives. Just precision. At 11:34, I hit send. The click echoed in my chest like a vault door closing. I powered down, slid the laptop away, and walked out past Derek's office without a glance. He was in the break room, laughing too loud. The building felt like kindling now, and I had struck the match. The rest of that Tuesday blurred into a haze of forced normalcy. I ate lunch alone on a bench near the fountain outside, watching colleagues rush by with urgent calendars and unread inboxes. Mine no longer mattered the same way. Silence from corporate was expected. Ethics reviews moved like glaciers, but I knew the ground was shifting. My documentation hadn't started as revenge. It began as self-defense, a habit born from noticing too much in a place that rewarded looking away. Flashback 6 months. I flagged an onboarding case where a consultant's DUI email was forwarded accidentally. No follow-up. Told I was slowing hiring. I stopped official flags and started private logs instead. Then the expense claims. Derek signing off on dinners labeled client strategy sessions at loud sports bars without private dining. Cross-referenced receipts showed no client names matching. DI reports boasted 45% female leadership when I could count the women managers on one hand. Forged metrics to chase federal grants. Vendor bids quietly steered to favored partners with kickbacks hinted in deleted Slack threads I recovered. Harassment claims resolved with blank PDFs. Retaliation against anyone who spoke up, subtle at first, denied promotions. Heavier workloads. I built my fortress methodically. Encrypted folders, metadata stamps, annotations linking everything. Payroll anomalies where bonuses flowed despite missed audits. Derek's quiet edits to logs. At first, it was insurance. Then it became proof that the startup culture was a mask for top-down ethical decay. The loser sign wasn't random, it was coordinated. Passed around. Planned. My stomach hollowed, realizing how long they'd watched me. Chosen me as the safe target because I stayed silent, because I cared too much about the work. Wednesday brought the first quiet before the storm. Inbox empty of usual budget requests or polls. No Slack pings from Derek asking for quick reviews. Then the calendar invite hit at 10:14 a.m. Internal systems audit, phase 1 from ethics. Review at parentcompany.com. Mandatory for the team. Cutting into Friday sync. Minutes later. Laptop collection protocol, Friday EOD. Voluntary but strongly encouraged. Jordan stood, glanced at Derek's office. Then sat without speaking. Megan from Payables, who hadn't met my eyes since I once flagged her boyfriend's LLC invoice that vanished, suddenly offered coffee with a forced smile. I declined politely. Slack channels emptied. A pin message from Derek. Stay focused and professional today. Rachel from HR walked through with asset tags, labeling laptops like marking inventory. Skipping mine. By noon, 2 directors called out sick right before a leadership Zoom. The air thickened with unspoken dread. People avoided my desk but hovered nearby, calculating. Derek tried a weak joke about security theater. It landed flat. No one laughed. They watched me eat my sandwich calmly, wondering what I knew, whether they were next. I updated a risk tracker no one requested, projecting calm while inside the tension coiled tighter. My silence had protected them for years, ignored reports, buried warnings, gaslit instincts. Now, the button was pushed. Silence wasn't weakness, it was strategy. By afternoon, the collective regret hung palpable. The same faces that once smirked now calculated blast radius. I sipped coffee, scrolled screens, let them wonder. This was the slow douse of kindling, waiting for the inevitable spark. Thursday morning, I logged in to more unnatural quiet. No urgent requests. No memes. The invite for the full team audit loomed. Laptop tags multiplied. Whispers about directors' absences spread. Around 2 p.m., Slack pinged. Jessica. Please step into conference room 2C. Plain text. No emojis. The hallway felt endless. Vending machine hummed distant. Derek's office glass revealed him hovering, wanting to speak but silent. Inside, 2C waited Elaine Chong, Executive Risk Counsel from the parent company, crisp gray blazer. Neutral, terrifying calm, and Marcus Breener from Internal Systems Integrity. Security badge clipped. Closed laptop like a confessional guardian. Elaine spoke first. Emily Harper. Thank you for joining us. Are you willing to speak openly? No preamble. I met her eyes. Yes. She leaned back. Your report was comprehensive. We had suspicions, partial data, but nothing concrete. Your logs filled the gaps. You were the missing piece. I didn't smile. There's more. Hard copies, encrypted backups, unfiled vendor whistleblower notes, deleted chains from Derek's inbox on suppression. Marcus opened his laptop. I slid the USB across. They didn't question how. They recognized the methodical analyst who stayed invisible until she chose otherwise. Elaine confirmed they'd watched the region. My email triggered action. Interviews, reviews, suspensions pending cooperation. Financial holds starting that afternoon. Payroll audits Monday. We may speak with you privately again. Limited access channel soon. Your role may evolve. No hero speeches. Just acknowledgement. As I left, Elaine added, Thank you. We've been hoping for someone like you. I paused. You weren't waiting. You were hoping someone would break first. Friday brought nervous sweat and forced cheer. The keyboards clacked louder. But conversations died near me. Tyler hovered first. Hey, Emily. Coffee? My treat. Things have been weird. I looked at him steadily until he cracked and retreated. Marcy, silent for years, apologized vaguely for jokes. I replied it showed who they were. Derek cornered me last. Charm masking panic, suggesting we stop it together. It's not me, I said calmly. You need to stop. But you knew that. He fled. The break room emptied. Carter, no. Derek paced late with phone glued to ear. By noon, everyone sensed the 3 p.m. mandatory compliance action review from Parent Legal. Red flagged. The shared conference room stayed unnaturally still. Screen lit with parent logo. Amanda Valley. General Counsel. No smiles. Listed 5 violations. Fabricated expenses. Demos reporting for grants. Vendor favoritism. Harassment suppression. Whistleblower retaliation. Bonuses frozen. Cooperation tracked. Then, Emily Harper. Please stay on. Others filed out silently. Amanda's tone softened slightly. Your documentation verified irregularities. Precise. Deliberate. We'd like to discuss you joining Corporate Risk Division. Working on the people who enabled this. I nodded. I'm open. Screen black. I breathed in the empty room. The stage had collapsed. Actors still pretending. Clarity. Not revenge. Monday. I arrived early to pack my small box. And used stress ball. Ignored handbook. Dog photo. Fluorescent flicker felt final. 3 coworkers lingered awkwardly near the break room. Glancing cautiously, no hostility. Just wary respect. Hannah, whom I trained years ago, approached with coffee. We didn't know. I'm sorry. I replied softly. You weren't supposed to. She nodded and left. Derek took personal leave after weekend legal meetings. Tyler's desk cleared. Slack active but absent. I pulled the folded loser paper from my drawer, stared at the creases, memories resurfacing, the laughter, the isolation, then zipped it into my bag as evidence of what was. A few gathered near my desk for quiet nods.
No speeches.
I left carrying the box, weightless except for peace.
No gralles.
Just the elevator hiss into morning light. Headquarters gleamed sterile, polished with real oversight. Badge felt heavier. Senior risk auditor. Corporate compliance. New office on 17th floor, glass walls. Charcoal desk. No Nerf darts or mocking plaques. Just focus. Envelope on desk. Welcome aboard. Emily. The silence you broke helped beyond one region. Let's keep going.
Off.
Screen lit. 3 priority folders from subsidiaries, logistics, import, contractor, each with familiar retaliation patterns. Same stories, different masks. I opened the first, reading clean logs. They tried making me the joke. Instead, I became the warning, holding keys to the system they weaponized. One risk, one lie, one silence broken at a time. I wasn't the loser. This file transitions to deeper reflection and closure, expanding emotional resonance. The moral lingers. How many stay silent until the weight becomes unbearable? In corporate America, where culture masks rot and pranks hide power imbalances, one voice can force reckoning. But at what personal cost? The question haunts. Would you document in the dark, waiting for the sign that finally demands you speak? In the weeks following, whispers reached me of suspensions, terminations for non-cooperation, structural changes at Apex. Megan avoided eye contact again, but differently, fear mixed with regret. Jordan's weird apology attempt stopped. The new role immersed me in similar cases nationwide, logistics branch with inflated bids. Latin America imports hiding kickbacks. Tech contractors suppressing complaints. Each folder mirrored my old files, patterns of gaslighting, selective blindness, fun mistaken for harassment. I reviewed them methodically, training new analysts on spotting anomalies early.
No adrenaline rush.
Just quiet satisfaction and precision. The dog photo now sits on my new desk, reminding me persistence paddles forward. The original loser paper remains archived, not bitterness, but proof of transformation. Reflecting, the prank was catalyst, but the real story was years of observation turning into action. U.S. corporate life rewards charisma over competence, fun over integrity, until exposure threatens bottom line. Legal protections exist, yet retaliation fears silence most. My case succeeded because documentation was ironclad, escalation direct to parent. Others may not. The lingering question, when does your silence become complicity? In offices where pranks signal deeper toxicity, will you document the decay or laugh along until the kindling ignites? The answer defines not just careers, but the soul of workplaces everywhere.